Fraud. Again. General Motors has been strike targeted by its largest union, the United Auto Workers. Are the workers greedy, or is GM up to its old tricks of deliberately shirking its responsibilities to the workers who just last year helped them achieve profits of over $10 billion? Are they encouraging them to strike because they don't have to pay the workers while allowing an excessive 90 days inventory of unsold cars to dwindle? Has this type of strategy ever been incorporated before by General Motors? How about on an even grander scale? In March of 2009, the U.S. auto industry collapsed, requiring a massive government bailout, the largest of which General Motors received $51 billion of taxpayer money. Decades of mismanagement now threatened an industry which employs 3 million Americans. The results of our government's investment in GM? A loss, an unpaid sum of $11 billion. For many retired and severed employees, retirement plans were leveled. Pensions, promises for health care, and life insurance broken, never to be made whole. Families enduring bankruptcy, foreclosure, divorce, and even suicide. For many in their 50s and 60s, it was just too late in life to start over. So how did this all start? In 1999, GM spun off its massive parts-producing operations into an independent Delphi corporation, an unethical tactic of GM to distance itself from liabilities to its workforce. The spin-off was sold as an opportunity for Delphi to make and sell parts to competing automakers. All that really happened was GM unloaded labor costs and sourced parts from competing suppliers. That pivot crushed Delphi, forcing them to become uncompetitive as a global automotive parts supplier. 6 years later, in 2005, Delphi filed for bankruptcy. GM, through an agreement with the unions, took responsibility for billions in Delphi union pension guarantees from the failure, a self-inflicted wound. The losses were staggering. Delphi languished in Chapter 11 bankruptcy until 2009, while they eliminated 25,000 jobs in nearly 20 US-based factories. GM, through its own bankruptcy in 2009, shed its guarantees of Delphi's underfunded union pensions. As a result, the government's Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation, or PBGC, assumed responsibility for both the union and non-union pensions. In the end, every automotive pension plan was kept whole, except for a group of 20,000 salaried Delphi retirees who saw up to a 75% needless slash in benefits. Why? The PBGC falsely claimed these plans were underfunded, when in fact, they were mostly funded in a heavily discounted stock market. They never should have been canceled. Meanwhile, the truly underfunded pensions were made whole. Incredibly unfair. The PBGC, having never faced a crisis of this magnitude, took its direction from the Obama administration's Auto Task Force. In doing so, the PBGC violated ERISA law and their fiduciary responsibility to the retirees. They failed to follow their own rules and procedures and unjustly decided the winners and losers solely because of political influence. Today, General Motors is back at its old games of closing factories, curtailing benefits, and issuing layoffs, while executives are again getting 7- and 8-figure pay packages. Meanwhile, the PBGC is facing a tidal wave of underfunded pension failures during a time of record market valuations and corporate profits. Anyone's life can be upended next, including yours. Now is the time to unite and take action, to disrupt the special interests between the government and corporations before more innocent people are needlessly hurt. The Delphi Salaried Retirees need your help. In the coming months, their case will be heard in the U.S. Court of Appeals, 6th Circuit in Cincinnati, Ohio. Help us send a message to Detroit, Washington, and every company holding outstanding promises to their workforce that the people of this nation are awake and uniting for action. Please share this video and help us make sure this never happens to anyone ever again, and end the relationship between the government and corporations as co-conspirators in defrauding the American people.